Yay!
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to our bite-sized webinars. It's been a couple of weeks because we've cheekily taken a little bit of annual leave. So welcome back to all. Hope you've had a good week so far, and obviously a bank holiday in between. Hope it was fantastic for you. You'll see that we don't have Will Murphy on the panel today, but we do have the pleasure of the company of Alan Goldie. So Alan, thank you very, very, very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We have a familiar face in the way of Carl Horton with just a bit of a longer beard, but he is still there. Tonight, we're just going to have a general chit chat about anything. What I'd like to do is to introduce you properly to Alan Goldie. I'm not going to take too much of your thunder, Alan. So if you'd be so kind, just to give yourself a brief intro and tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, thank you again for the opportunity to be with you. I'm sure we're going to have a bit of fun tonight, hopefully. My name's Alan Goldie, as you said. I am the Managing Director and Partner at VSSA Academy. Excuse me, which is a training and education company. I believe we've worked with you before, Carl, for quite some time. Excuse me. So where I come from, my background is I was a microbiologist by training.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. What else don't you know? So I started with microbiology and came through pharmaceuticals actually. So I started off as a medical rep, and then get into management and marketing, and then spent 11 years in that industry, and then decided to make a change. So I got myself into dental implants. I found that quite interesting at the time, and I thought interesting to get into. That was 2015 or something. And that was when I joined one of the implant companies, Straumann. And I worked there for 10, 11 years, and I did a lot of work with the ITI, which I was very privileged to do. I worked with some fabulous people there working on education programs for them. And then I decided time for change again. So let me get this right, 2016, I teamed up with Fadi Barak at VSS, as it was then, as a business partner. We got together. He had an existing business, which was VSS Academy, which already did training and education, but we decided to work together really just to focus on that and to grow that whole kind of part of the business that we were both very, very passionate about, which is education and training of dentists.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
And obviously that's allowed you to cross paths with us. Obviously, Carl, you've been doing a lot of the coursework. So during lockdown, what difference did it bring to VSS for you guys?
Well, that was a huge challenge for us. I mean, at the time, Carl's laughing here because it was gigantic. So at the time, we were in the process of delivering several different courses. So there was a certificate course, which is a year-long course for implant dentists. That was running, started in March. In fact, the first day of it was the week before lockdown was announced. So that was interesting. At the same time, we had 3 cohorts of an MSc running, and that's a clinical implantology with University of Central Lancashire. So we had all these programs running, so four groups, if you like. And traditionally, what we did with them was we delivered the knowledge modules as you would have done with a lecture, with hands-on exercises and discussion in a venue where we all would get together once a month. So of course, March the 14th happens. That's our last hands-on day together before it all started. And we had a choice really, which was, do we postpone everything, or do we try and get everyone through the course or courses? So we made the very easy choice, which was, no, we don't let them down. They trust us to deliver their course. Let's do it. So that was the easy part. The hard part was actually making it work. And I could see Carl laughing because Carl is one of our tutors who is very, very heavily involved in this. So what that entailed was a lot of man-hours from myself, from Fadi, obviously, who's a clinical director, and Anne Pearson, who's our absolute stalwart support in the academy. And obviously all the faculty as well. So we had to basically transfer all the lectures from live into recorded, save them all, put them in a place, so and deliver them to us. So we had to learn how to use it. The tutors had to learn how to use it. The students had to learn how to use it, and we had to repackage the course in such a way that it was accessible to everyone who was in lockdown or doing emergency treatments, in such a way that was engaging enough to keep them going. And so that's what we did.
And very successfully, may I add.
Well, thank you. I mean, looking back, it has been a real success. In fact, one thing we did do, which was quite unusual, was that we were able to run all the exams remotely as well. So that was for, I think, 15 second years. So that's the final year, and 16 first years as well. So we had to take them through what normally they would do. They would go to Preston, they would go into a classroom, and they'd have their scene cases, and they'd have their written exams and everything all invigilated. So we couldn't do that, so we had to devise a way to do that remotely. And Carl, again, you were very much involved in that too, and we managed to pull it off. And it was a pretty frantic time. Like Carl keeps laughing every time I say that was busy, that was funny, but we managed to do it. So it was an enormous thrill for us to come through that, but it was really hard work.
Very much so.
It was because even though I was involved, I was involved but not involved, and I mean that in terms of the organisation that you guys had to do in the background to make it easy, not only for the students but for people like me, where you could tell was phenomenal, and you could see the stress levels sort of. If Microsoft Teams had a stress level screen, we'd start the meeting and it'd be down here, and it'd be like, hey, you been? Yeah, not bad. And then as the kind of the hour went through, as we were trying to do this, get into rooms and put people into holding rooms as a test to see how it all worked, you could just see the frustration and the stress building up to the point of I really don't know how you managed to pull it off was the right word, really, because I was really impressed and organise everybody, not only get the invigilators and the team involved and the people putting people in the room, so the examiners were in one room and you had a holding room with the other people, and then getting the students from the one station to the holding room and then into the exam and then back out again, and the next student, and then getting the invigilators who weren't together to tally up the marks, to get the marks together, and do all that within the time. And I know that some people ran tight to time and some of us didn't.
Wonder who that might have been.
Remember into your classroom once to say, right, come on.
Yeah, we were like, yeah, it's going all right. Yeah, you're having a good. Yeah, fine. Yeah, kids all right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to be. Yeah, no, it wasn't quite like that, but it was. Yeah, it was. Fantastic job. I mean, hats off to you guys for that. You made it seem very, very easy and very straightforward, very slick.
Well,
very slick.
That's good to hear, because you can only see what you're inside, but. A big part of that was due to the help we got from the team at UCLan as well, because they're used to running courses remotely, so they were a massive help as well. So it was a real team effort from everybody. But one of those things you look back on, hopefully, and be very, very pleased with and very proud of.
Yeah, and the lectures. I mean, I tuned into a couple of the lectures, and that was great. I'm not sure mine was that good, if I'm honest. I kind of didn't realize that we were going to do bite-size parts of the lecture, so I just did the whole lecture from start to finish. So, but they can always stop and rewind. It's kind of
rewind, and they can rewatch it as well if they get.
Yeah, so. But I and I think I kind of gave my lecture online, and then I watched other people do their lectures. I think Jose, who gave questions out and answered the questions, assuming, not that they all did, assuming that some of them had watched the lectures. But they went back and they watched it afterwards. I know that they'd got a lot of commitments. It was a busy time for people. During lockdown, busy time for people.
Well, there's a lot going on in the world as well, not just personally, a hard time for people and a lot of stress, and so, I mean, I must say, fair play to the students too, because It's not what they signed up for. It's not
No.
what they expected to happen. But we promised them we would get them through the course. They trusted us to do it, and so we did. But one interesting thing is that the feedback about how we delivered it, Carl, was so good. As you know, we're continuing to do the blended delivery from now on. So
I was going to ask that actually. What has that meant for you? Is it something, you know, if we all return to normal or the new normal, is it something that you will continue?
Yeah, there's no question. So we've already got this in place now for the next 2 cohorts of the MSc, which start. Actually, they started induction last week, and they start the knowledge network, knowledge modules next week. So we're going to do the same thing. So there's blended learning, recorded lectures that they can watch repeatedly, live webinars where they will have been asked the questions, and hopefully, Carl, they will have done the beta. And then some live work, and then the hands-on sections, which for the MSc particularly are important. The skills practice, so working in dummies or pigs' heads or cadavers or doing restorative, but we've bunched them all together into full days as opposed to they used to be just afternoons. So we've reduced the number of contact days, increased the remote days, and that lets us be a little more flexible, because we can see already that, you know, there are new lockdowns coming into place, so new regulations will come and go. So we need to be flexible enough to be able to respond to that, and that doing it this way allows us very much to do that.
Yeah. I think it's sorry, Kay. I think it's a better way of learning personally. I mean, I know I'm not one of the students, but I feel that if I'd had the opportunity to get a lecture online and watch that lecture and then watch different parts of that lecture as it was dissected up in my own time, that I probably would have. No, I didn't do too bad, I don't think. It depends who's listening. Did all right, you know. But I think it just lends itself a little more, especially when you are doing a postgraduate course where you've got quite a lot of commitments, and committing to sort of a day of traveling up and then having to go through and sit through a lecture and then not having access to that in your own time. I think it's a lot better, actually. So I think it's, oddly enough, it's improved things.
That's how we see it. I mean, based on feedback from the students and also tutors like yourself, it seems like a no-brainer. I mean, the curriculum is the same, the aims learning arts are the same, but just the delivery's changed. So they say they're getting a more deeper understanding of the topic.
Yeah,
you know, they can watch more the lectures, and then they're tested on the webinars as well. So yeah, it's a good place to be now that we've come through this far and starting again with it.
Yeah, well, I think Joe Wicks has pinched the idea, hasn't he? And doing his sort of at home with PE, kind of saw he was tuning into VSS, you know, and then thought, I'll have a little bit of that. He liked it that much. He's doing it again.
He's doing it again.
He is. And go on, Kate. I'm going to
shut up. Go on. No, please do. You carry on.
I was going to say, I've been watching Instagram, mate, and I've been seeing these flowers and vegetables.
We're going to rename you, and it's quite obvious, really. So we're not going to have Alan Goldie, are we? We're going to have Alan Titchmarsh.
Ali G.
Ali Titchmarsh.
Titchmarsh.
Come on, tell us.
Not Ali G.
Alan, come on. No, not Ali G.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're talking about the 2K gardeners. So it's an Instagram channel that myself and my husband now do, and it's basically a gardening post, basically. So it all started because my sister, hello Sandra, if you're watching, and she will be.
Hello Sandra.
I've been gardening and growing vegetables for forever. We've got an allotment, and we're pretty much self-sufficient. But my sister kind of took it up recently in the last couple of years, and she kept saying, "How do you do this? And how do you do that? And how do you grow tomatoes? How do you?" And then I kept telling her, she said, "Oh, just send me a video." I was like, "Oh, okay." So there's this and this, and eventually I did one, and she thought it was fantastic. I sent it to all her family, and they all went, "Oh, this is amazing, you should do this." So lockdown comes along, and everyone's saying, "Alan, how do you grow fruit and veg? How do you do it?" So we just started doing it, and then that's what's happened.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I love that.
So you're not offended about the book that I sent you then?
Not at all.
Okay, that's all right then. Gardening for Dummies, Kate. I had no idea of the experience Alan got. I've just found out now. So I'm just thinking, But
well, there's always something to learn in everywhere. But,
I didn't read it. It came. I think I got it from. It doesn't matter anyway. I got this PDF, and I thought, I wonder if Alan will like that. And I've just learned that you're an expert gardener.
Alan wrote it.
Yeah.
Well, there's always something to learn. You can never stop learning. But it was a bit of fun. And
I think it's great.
And it's reached a lot of people, and a lot of people have actually tried to do, and they've followed us, and now they're sending pictures of what they've grown and what they've grown. So it's
that's superb, mate. That is excellent.
That's fantastic.
And going back to the microbiology, where did you do that?
Strathclyde, up in Glasgow, so Strathclyde University.
Was it an MSc or a?
No, it was just a graduate course. So
yeah.
VSSA honours. So that was graduated in '92.
Yeah. Because I did microbiology when I first started, and I did it at UCLan, but it wasn't UCLan then. It was Preston Polytechnic in the days where we had polytechnics.
Wow.
Did you write on slabs then?
Did I write on slabs? We did it in hieroglyphics.
So yeah, interesting. We've all started in the same place, but then
I did see saw Carl's ears prick up when you said microbiology.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't know about Alan's course, but it was very thorough. And ours was, I mean, there was a little bit of dentistry in it, but not much in those days. There was a guy called Marsh and Martin that used to do that sort of stuff. But we did it with an applied approach. So we used to design experiments for companies, pharmaceutical companies and things like that, and doing all the difference. And what's interesting is when you carry the knowledge over and you look at the way that people are dealing with today's situation, and you kind of just go,
that was me in 1988. I handles and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah.
It kind of sticks with you, and it follows into what we do when we're dealing with dentists and other things, and how we kind of understood things as microbiologists back then, and how when people say they were following cross infection, and you go into dentistry. I mean, I remember, Alan, I probably haven't told you a story. I might have told you, Kate, when we were doing some kind of surgical work, and I can't say where because it'll probably drop the minute. But they said, just use this, just use that. I said, well, that's the water bottle out of the tap. Shouldn't you be using sterile water? And they just went, oh yeah. Yeah. What's the point? You're doing all this, you're gaining up, you're gloving up, you're doing all this, but you're only using water out of the tap. It just didn't make sense to me. But that was my sort of microbiology head coming into play, because we knew what we had to do with all that sort of stuff and keeping it sterile. So it does cross over a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's into really wide ranging kind of degrees.
Yeah.
You get really, really good grounding. But I think what I found was it was a brilliant education, but the practicalities of working in a microbiology lab were really, really dull. So both education was like, okay, I do not want to be a microbiologist.
Yeah.
I've used the information I got, I've used this education, and I'll go and do something else. And that's why I went into pharma.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was, I've got some friends that were there that might listen to it, but yeah, it was, there was some very interesting. Yeah,
I'll blame my dissertation topic. There you go. How's that? It was a dull topic. Let's leave it.
So, Alan, we're interested. What can you tell us that's next for VSS? Can you enlighten us?
Well, what's next? I mean, this is something Fadi and I do a lot of kind of strategizing and planning, and we're both, let's say, very, very passionate about educating people, and we're both passionate about educating people safely and with the best way we can. We are very much in a market which is implant dentistry, and we're very renowned in that. So we're continuing to work with the UCLan, so University of Central Lancashire, with the MSc program. So there's two cohorts per year. That's projected to continue for the indefinite future. Certificate course we'll continue doing, and there's a cadaver course which is for more complex work. But we're also thinking outside of that realm as well. So maybe looking into other disciplines as well, which would be really interesting. I'd love to get involved in the world outside of implant dentistry, but within dentistry as well. So watch this space. That'd be.
Are you being secretive there, or?
I mean, a little bit coy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
But we're planning, so I don't want to give too much away.
No, that's fine. It's, you know what? Just hold back a little bit. People always want more, Yeah. But that's
what I can say easily is that the implant courses most definitely they're established now. They're here to stay, and as long as we're able to and safe and healthy, we can do it. Then we'll continue to. So
what's the best way for people out there to contact you guys if they're interested in picking up any of this work with you guys?
The best thing is to contact me directly, so by email. Which,
okay.
You want me to say it? Or
please, we'll please.
Goldie at vssacademy.co.uk. I don't know if you can put a caption up or something at the end.
We can do something. If not, if they contact us, we can easily pass that on as well.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy for you to share my contact details with anyone who's interested. So there's no problem there.
Gardening work as well?
We have the time for gardening work. I barely get time to manage a plot now.
I would imagine you do.
So you're still running. I mean, I know that I've sort of been through a few of the changes, and confusingly for me, because I didn't really kind of pay attention, which is terrible, isn't it? Really. So I had the CID students as the first cohort, and then the MSc started to progress as sort of UCLan came along, and we got involved with those, and I probably just delivered the lectures and thought, what doing MSc? Yeah. And it's not true, everybody. I did pay strict attention, and I knew what was going on at all times. And again, it goes to show what great backup you've got, really, because it was a case that I would, Carl, you're going to be here, you're going to deliver this lecture, please, and be here at this time, and we'll feed you, and you'll be a happy man. But so we've still then, as VSS, we've got the Glasgow cohort MSc.
Yep.
We've got the Birmingham cohort MSc or CID?
MSc,
and then the London cohort
is CID. Yeah, so just CID, just to explain to everyone, is a certificate in implant dentistry, and that's the 1 year modular course, which is aimed at the novice who's looking to start placing implants in practice with a mentor. And
the CID people can then go on and do the MSc. And how many years? Because that's what I'd ask.
Yeah, well, the MSc is 2 years part-time, but it's still the full 180 credits, so the same credit value as a 3-year course as it used to be, but it's been condensed into 2 years. Yeah,
so it's still, I mean, from a part-time point of view, I would have loved to have done that, but it's still, I'm not sure, because sometimes I think, it would have been nice to have done it a bit quicker, but then I see the amount of work, and I think, that's a lot of work. As in, for those people that think that, well, they're just doing it in 2 years. It's not the same amount of work, but it's the same amount of work, but condensed.
Yeah, so it's quite intense.
It is intense, isn't it?
We very strongly. I mean, everyone's interviewed to join the course anyway.
Yeah.
But we very strongly recommend that you have at least a day to a day and a half per week available time.
Yeah.
To be able to catch up with your studies. If you're working full time, then maybe the other route, the certificate route, might be better for you because it's less intense. But if you want to do the 2 year course, you need to have time to keep up with your studies because it is intense. We use a lot of Saturdays and we use a lot of evenings as well. So your own time.
Yeah.
It's thorough. It's not a lot of work, it's thorough.
It is thorough. But I mean, I must admit, I don't know whether I'm just blessed with a bunch of absolutely delightful students, but all my cohorts have been absolutely great. And I've had a lovely time teaching them. I must admit, it's been superb. So if they all want to buy me, a meal or chocolates or anything like that, then that's absolutely fine. Any of them that are listening.
I'll let them know.
Yeah, cheers.
I don't think you're allowed to give out presents.
They've finished now. We passed them.
Yeah, okay.
We haven't got anybody coming. No.
Just to pick up on what you said, Carl, is you can access the master's course through the certificate course.
Yeah.
So how that works is that the certificate course curriculum and delivery is exactly the same as part of the first year of the MSc. So UCLan recognise that certificate course as that chunk of the first year. So people who want to do that can do the certificate course first, then the next year complete the remainder of year one, which is an academic module and 5 days clinical work, so clinical mentoring. And then they pay the fees for that. They go through and they pass first year and go straight to second year. So that they're doing the 2-year course over 2.5 years, if you like, but it's slightly less intense. So some of the students prefer that pathway. It's a little bit easier. Not easy because it's an MSc, but it's a little bit more manageable if you're limited for time. So that's another one you could do.
Yeah, and I think the other thing as well, doing it through the CID, we did originally get them access to papers and things like that. Do they still get access to the paper? Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah. So you just have to refresh my memory a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the setup CD is the same. So they have a full resource base. They have they have more now than they had before because of the new blended delivery. So they have exactly the same as the MSc students.
Yeah. Which is fantastic, isn't it? I mean that opportunity to get onto that. I mean, that access on Blackboard, the amount of information you can peel off that with all the implant research and all the other research you can get on there. I mean, it's like I could just sit here all night and just start reading all those because I'm quite sad like that. So I could just sit and read all those papers forever. But I'd probably end up with kids that wouldn't speak to me anymore and their wife probably, and a dog that's I've fed the dog, so she's left me alone for most of the night. And
a really long beard as well.
Yeah. Bit less of this and a bit more of this.
Oh, that's what happens, Carl. Enjoy it while you've got it. That's all I'll say.
So you're not thinking of doing a hair transplant course, are you? No. Okay.
Just for you, for me.
Well, I'm thinking of me at the moment. We'll
just get one of those permanent markers. We'll get you sorted. You haven't got to go and spend all that money.
Okay.
We'll get you sorted. It's not a problem. You can have dots like stubble, or we can just do little swishes. It's fine.
Little curls.
I'll see Alan can help me.
Thanks both.
You've got to work on that sincerity. I don't think you've been very sincere with your thanks.
Do you know what? There was a little kid tonight, and they'd just done their endurance run. So I think Seb thinks they ran 9K. But anyway, they looked like they'd done it. There's a little kid, Jamie, who's a little bit younger than Seb, and he was sitting on the sideline. I said, "Hi, Jamie, how you doing?" And he went, "Oh, really feeling really rough. I think it was the water. Nothing to do with the 9K you've just ran." but bless him, yeah. I went, yeah, that's what it. But my reply was, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. That was a sincerity face that I pulled. That's what it is. Absolutely, yeah. It was the water mate. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, yeah.
Gentlemen, we're going to bring this to a close. We're 30, 40 minutes in, unless you've got anything else to add.
I've got lots.
Yes, that's why I'm looking at Alan.
I think I've said enough.
Alan, can we just have your email address again, please?
Yes, okay. It's agoldie@vssacademy.co.uk. So that's agoldie@vssacademy.co.uk.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Alan, thank you so very much for your time this evening. We do appreciate how busy you are. So we do appreciate you sharing your time with us. And Mr. Horton, the same to yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you both.
Oh, thank you both. It's been an enjoyable half an hour. Actually, it's gone very fast. So.
Brilliant. Yeah. Cheers.
It's like having a chat. So
it goes quick, doesn't it? It just flies like that. Well, yeah, for me.
Yeah, it does.
I know I have to talk to. That's it. When you've gone, I'm just going to see it.
You're still being on and on.
Yeah.
No one's answering back.
So, gentlemen, have a lovely evening and the rest of your week, and obviously have a fantastic weekend.
You too. Thanks very much.
Cheers. Take care, guys.
See you both.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.